Should not threaten after one night. Should not threaten after one night. I am cold. I am cold. Mostly blocked. Mostly blocked. Is her stepbrother a doctor? Is her stepbrother a doctor? Was I studying when you called? Was I studying when you called? We can take a break after finishing this task. We can take a break after finishing this task. Do you have checked baggage? Do you have checked baggage? Could not change often. Could not change often. His neighbor was an esthetician. His neighbor was an esthetician. Can't you apply then? Can't you apply then? Write longer please. Write longer please. He is a talented musician and plays several instruments. He is a talented musician and plays several instruments. My head is aching. My head is aching. Couldn't add? Couldn't add? I can't quite reach the top shelf. I can't quite reach the top shelf. We rarely hunted. We rarely hunted. His brother-in-law was a janitor. His brother-in-law was a janitor. I can be mayor by noon. I can be mayor by noon. What is your final destination? What is your final destination? He took action to fix the problem. He took action to fix the problem. May not heal. May not heal. Was our neighbor a businesswoman? Was our neighbor a businesswoman? The couple got married with a small ceremony. The couple got married with a small ceremony. I shouldn't be engaged. I shouldn't be engaged. Sort out. Sort out. Shouldn't sing. Shouldn't sing. Are we locked in next year? Are we locked in next year? Won't he enjoy the sunrise? Won't he enjoy the sunrise? Can we stop? Can we stop? Can't be the organizer after 2 centuries? Can't be the organizer after 2 centuries? The children were playing in the park when their parents arrived. The children were playing in the park when their parents arrived. Every day we wouldn't notice. Every day we wouldn't notice. He has lived in London for 5 years. He has lived in London for 5 years. Can be selected immediately. Can be selected immediately. I never got a chance to apologize. I never got a chance to apologize. They played video games all night. They played video games all night. Your kids are technicians. Your kids are technicians. We will have a picnic in the park. We will have a picnic in the park. 21st century. 21st century. Shall we hold on as the sun rises? Shall we hold on as the sun rises? Was her daughter a songwriter? Was her daughter a songwriter? I eat apples while my father sleeps. I eat apples while my father sleeps. He slept 8 hours last night. He slept 8 hours last night. Why did you walk? Why did you walk? Shouldn't it normally impose? Shouldn't it normally impose? I can't save often. I can't save often. Won't he be a doctor in a year? Won't he be a doctor in a year? My children are mediators. My children are mediators. Our husband is the guide. Our husband is the guide. Retail. Retail. I will go to bed at midnight. I will go to bed at midnight. Give up. Give up. This ticket is part of my job. This ticket is part of my job. Can it continue into the sunset? Can it continue into the sunset? Doesn't he play? Doesn't he play? Doesn't it fail after 4 weeks? Doesn't it fail after 4 weeks? I bought a doll for my daughter. I bought a doll for my daughter. Didn't it break? Didn't it break? Didn't you get organized right away? Didn't you get organized right away? Are you painting at sunrise? Are you painting at sunrise? I cook for my family every evening. I cook for my family every evening. Possession of alcohol in public. Possession of alcohol in public. Then I assume. Then I assume. He has a sister. He has a sister. Wouldn't he hate? Wouldn't he hate? You may not guess after 3 days. You may not guess after 3 days. I wrote a short story for my English class. I wrote a short story for my English class. I'll be playing tennis at 3 o'clock tomorrow. I'll be playing tennis at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Finally. Finally. Your cousins are Forrester. Your cousins are Forrester. They practiced their piano skills every day. They practiced their piano skills every day. 10 to. 10 to. I don't notice anything in particular about it. I don't notice anything in particular about it. I can relate after one night. I can relate after one night. Didn't it take 10 years? Didn't it take 10 years? How many? How many? Can we think 2 months ahead? Can we think 2 months ahead? By the end of the year, I will have run a marathon. By the end of the year, I will have run a marathon. We went for a drink after the concert. We went for a drink after the concert. They can be aviators at dusk. They can be aviators at dusk. Is our stepbrother a loader? Is our stepbrother a loader? To worry. To worry. I hope you are well. I hope you are well. They shouldn't hit. They shouldn't hit. The engineer was very busy and very entertaining. The engineer was very busy and very entertaining. Can you be a daily nutritionist? Can you be a daily nutritionist? Right at noon? Right at noon? This makes sense, but I'm still not sure I understand. This makes sense, but I'm still not sure I understand. I smell poop. I smell poop. Shouldn't he ever have to teach? Shouldn't he ever have to teach? He won't be inviting soon. He won't be inviting soon. This makes sense to me. This makes sense to me. Empathy. Empathy. Didn't he do veterinary practice occasionally? Didn't he do veterinary practice occasionally? You shouldn't waste food. You shouldn't waste food. May not ask immediately. May not ask immediately. Grandchildren combine. Grandchildren combine. We remove. We remove. Will you conclude immediately? Will you conclude immediately? Can he do gymnastics in the afternoon? Can he do gymnastics in the afternoon? Shouldn't they trade every week? Shouldn't they trade every week? Shouldn't he be challenged? Shouldn't he be challenged? In 2 seconds, I'm a meteorologist. In 2 seconds, I'm a meteorologist. I can vote. I can vote. I won't start often. I won't start often. We have to find a way to cut costs without sacrificing quality. We have to find a way to cut costs without sacrificing quality. Our husband is a urologist. Our husband is a urologist. Your wife was a professor. Your wife was a professor. Could he replace it? Could he replace it? Can make jokes often. Can make jokes often. They play basketball on the weekends. They play basketball on the weekends. How often do you eat apples? How often do you eat apples? Can you help me find the gym? Can you help me find the gym? Did he mention last year? Did he mention last year? Colleague announcer? Colleague announcer? We couldn't rule at 2 a.m. before. We couldn't rule at 2 a.m. before. I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian. Will he be a journeyman? Will he be a journeyman? Her neighbor was a model. Her neighbor was a model. Are you okay? Are you okay? I am not available. I am not available. Were his stepson educators? Were his stepson educators? I'd be back in 5 minutes. I'd be back in 5 minutes. If there is no chance of rain, I will go out. If there is no chance of rain, I will go out. Was your daughter a sailor? Was your daughter a sailor? Fresh air is good for my lungs. Fresh air is good for my lungs. Can he propose next year? Can he propose next year? I had to transfer to another bus. I had to transfer to another bus. Private schools usually have higher prices. Private schools usually have higher prices. I could smell the delicious smell of freshly baked bread. I could smell the delicious smell of freshly baked bread. They're throwing a party next weekend. They're throwing a party next weekend. I shouldn't remember. I shouldn't remember. Did not exceed. Did not exceed. Isn't it encouraged every week? Isn't it encouraged every week? I love you since 1980. I love you since 1980. You should get well soon. You should get well soon. Should we be housewives in the twilight? Should we be housewives in the twilight? I'm the economist after 5 p.m. I'm the economist after 5 p.m. Our children are environmentalists. Our children are environmentalists. Was not suspicious. Was not suspicious. Doesn't it go up every week? Doesn't it go up every week? Doesn't he understand? Doesn't he understand? We will go to school. We will go to school. Do you have any? Do you have any? Should I put it then? Should I put it then? You should give. You should give. We are not always geographers. We are not always geographers. I know a lot. I know a lot. Trustworthy. Trustworthy. I won't be touching it soon. I won't be touching it soon. He is an excellent writer and has published several books. He is an excellent writer and has published several books. How much does a dozen eggs cost? How much does a dozen eggs cost? Did he come with? Did he come with? Are you at home today? Are you at home today? Rarely can we challenge. Rarely can we challenge. Have you decided what you want to eat? Have you decided what you want to eat? I can be a journalist every month. I can be a journalist every month. Into. They will not be shared soon. They will not be shared soon. Will it burn? Will it burn? Do not hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. Do not hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. Won't it include? Won't it include? I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. He is a journalist and writes for a newspaper. He is a journalist and writes for a newspaper. Don't you keep a diary? Don't you keep a diary? His grandfather is a dietitian. His grandfather is a dietitian. He held the book in his hand. He held the book in his hand. Our grandmother is a sports reporter. Our grandmother is a sports reporter. Your relatives were investors. Your relatives were investors. The chief was a tall man. The chief was a tall man. Friend stewardess. Friend stewardess. Mostly. I'm going to paint my bedroom next weekend. I'm going to paint my bedroom next weekend. Will he do plumbers later? Will he do plumbers later? I've never been tempted before. I've never been tempted before. He went to the gym to exercise. He went to the gym to exercise. His brother-in-law was a nutritionist. His brother-in-law was a nutritionist. I felt very lucky to be alive and able to experience such beauty. I felt very lucky to be alive and able to experience such beauty. May not suppress. May not suppress. I will never blame you for what happened. I will never blame you for what happened. Why do you think that? Why do you think that? I'll take a hit. I'll take a hit. You can race. You can race. Was his half-brother an inspector? Was his half-brother an inspector? Could they be sculptors? Could they be sculptors? Can you start the week? Can you start the week? I learned. I learned. Doesn't he become a vocalist after 2 weeks? Doesn't he become a vocalist after 2 weeks? I think it's time for me to say goodbye. I think it's time for me to say goodbye. Running after 2 weeks. Running after 2 weeks. They won't try in the afternoon. They won't try in the afternoon. They were economists at 5 the night before. They were economists at 5 the night before. Should we rank? Should we rank? Wouldn't we be astronauts in 5 centuries? Wouldn't we be astronauts in 5 centuries? Your stepson was the surrogate. Your stepson was the surrogate. I can do an acrobat soon. I can do an acrobat soon. Are we locked in next year? Are we locked in next year? Can't we prove it at sunrise? Can't we prove it at sunrise? That's all the conditions. That's all the conditions. We didn't do angling then. We didn't do angling then. I'm going on a trip to Europe next month. I'm going on a trip to Europe next month. I will open a branch. I will open a branch. Will it break at sunset? Will it break at sunset? I will talk to my English teacher about my progress. I will talk to my English teacher about my progress. Mostly blocked. Mostly blocked. He was just being so good. He was just being so good. I will stay home this weekend. I will stay home this weekend. Talks about it often. Talks about it often. Can you explain how to use this tool? Can you explain how to use this tool? I do not have much time. I do not have much time. I won't remember after 5 nights. I won't remember after 5 nights. The restaurant ran out of food I wanted to order, so I had to choose something else. The restaurant ran out of food I wanted to order, so I had to choose something else. I love to travel and discover new cultures. I love to travel and discover new cultures. Can we get some rest last year? Can we get some rest last year? John, as we just discussed. John, as we just discussed. Not every week. Not every week. Was his grandson a drummer? Was his grandson a drummer? I know. I know. I'm here to see John. I'm here to see John. Don't you know at noon? Don't you know at noon? We should joke every month. We should joke every month. I just got a call from my friend. I just got a call from my friend. Our sister was a civil engineer. Our sister was a civil engineer. Do they replace it every month? Do they replace it every month? Haven't we won? Haven't we won? Let me know if you need any help. Let me know if you need any help. They couldn't have been better at sunset. They couldn't have been better at sunset. If it's not cold, I'll go outside. If it's not cold, I'll go outside. I will try to do my best. I will try to do my best. I love your new bro suit. I love your new bro suit. I had finished my homework before my mother came home. I had finished my homework before my mother came home. I'm a naughty boy and I never clean my room. I'm a naughty boy and I never clean my room. His brothers were speakers. His brothers were speakers. Should we finish this task today or can it wait until tomorrow? Should we finish this task today or can it wait until tomorrow? Can I use your phone for a minute? Can I use your phone for a minute? They don't leave later in the morning. They don't leave later in the morning. Was your grandfather a civil servant? Was your grandfather a civil servant? I couldn't understand what he was saying. I couldn't understand what he was saying. They would clean. They would clean. You won't talk later. You won't talk later. Was my father an environmentalist? Was my father an environmentalist? Normally discover. Normally discover. 3 days ago they were not complaining. 3 days ago they were not complaining. We could have had a great time if it hadn't rained. We could have had a great time if it hadn't rained. I'm sorry if I startled you. I'm sorry if I startled you. Won't we listen? Won't we listen? Will not be suitable. Will not be suitable. They go to the lake to swim. They go to the lake to swim. It could be poison. It could be poison. Can you get it every month? Can you get it every month?